Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. The comedy skit show SNL touches on many different topics every single Saturday night. Some of the topics can be political, some can be cultural, and others can just be odd. I think each and every single one of us have seen at SNL, and it's probably made many people laugh. Now, while the comedy sketch shows like SNL can definitely make us laugh and honestly bring joy to a lot of people, sometimes the jokes on SNL can go too far, according to some people. And we see that like we saw this Saturday night. Now, before we jump in and talk about everything that's going on with SNL, I'd like to thank our sponsors. So I want to thank Neuhaus Cleaners. Neuhaus Cleaners is a cleaning company that'll leave your house looking like new. So if you're looking for a maid company, go ahead and check out Neuhaus Cleaners. Now, before we even get to talking about what's happening, Sohaila has sent a comment in. So Sohaila says, "It's getting ridiculous. Enough is enough. People need to chill." Jeez. Now, this weekend, during the Weekend Update, which is SNL's fake news show, Michael Che wrote a joke and stated the joke on the show. And he wrote, "Israel's reporting that they vaccinated one half of the population. I'm going to guess it's the Jewish half." Now, because of this statement, many Jewish organizations and many Jews are saying that this statement is going against Jewish people, as anti-Semitic. And because of this, they now have Jewish organizations such as the American Jewish Committees calling for Michael Che to actually apologize and retract the joke. Now, many people are saying that a joke is just a joke. And as we saw in the comment section, Sohaila just wrote that it's a joke, people. But when we look at if things are a joke, we get to the point of saying what is really a joke and what is really offending people. Now, SNL has come under fire many times before, and people are saying that SNL does have a habit of making anti-Semitic jokes. And then Sohaila also says, "I don't think he needs to apologize." And while Sohaila says they don't think that he needs to apologize, we do see that a lot of Jews are now calling for NBC to force Michael Che to apologize. And actually, the American Jewish Committee now has a petition going around, and they're sending to NBC to call for Michael Che and NBC to apologize for the joke. Now, we do know that Michael Che and the Weekend Update, now this is the Weekend Update right here, we do know that they do make series of jokes that go against a lot of people. A lot of it could be political. I know during the political campaign, a lot of people saw the jokes that they made about Trump's sons and the jokes that they made about Trump himself. Maybe Trump's entire team was uncalled for. I heard many Republicans who used to be fans of SNL saying that they no longer want to watch SNL because it became too political, and they found the jokes against Republicans offensive. And now we're seeing with this situation here that they're finding that Jews, whether it's in the United States or around the world or in Israel, are now finding these jokes offensive. It seems that SNL has offended a lot of people a lot of times at different times. So Sohaila says, "If no one wants to offend people, then everyone has to wear a muzzle then. Every single person has and will in the future offend people. It's just the way it is. Not everyone will like everything that you say ever." And it comes to the question that a lot of people ask, when does a joke go too far? Now, again, shows like SNL are going to continue to make jokes, whether people like them or not. And we saw with shows like South Park, like Rick and Morty, that people continue to make irreverent jokes no matter who the audience is. And they'll make jokes with people's religions. They'll make jokes with people's political beliefs. They'll make jokes about everything. But again, we do come to the question is, when does a joke take it too far? Now, a lot of times we'll see people being offended when they're part of a community that has been disenfranchised. When people are part of a community where they don't feel they have the same opportunities as other communities, they do take it to heart when people make jokes. When people make jokes against that community because they feel like it's another form of oppression. But then again, people use humor to address things as well. And it does pose the question is, when does it go too far? Was this joke about Israel vaccinating half of the population a joke that went too far? And who has the right to actually say that the joke went too far, the joke is fine? And a lot of times we say that we place the barometer with that community. So there was something that was coming out. And so some activists has actually stated that the joke, and I'm going to say the joke again, so we know the joke that we're talking about, people who are just tuning in. So the joke was Israel's reporting that they vaccinated half of the population. And I'm going to guess it's the Jewish half. And again, that is a joke that Michael Che actually came out and said. And because of this joke, many Jews are upset and saying that it's anti-Semitic. Now, people have said that the Jew, so again, these are activists, they stated that the joke is a dangerous modern twist on the classic anti-Semitic trope. So they're saying that this is just another modern twist of the things that they were saying about Jews before, of the jokes they're saying about Jews before. Now, this is not the first time this year that SNL has been under fire. This is not the first time this month that SNL has been under fire. Earlier this month, Michael Che, and again, it was another Michael Che joke, actually came out and people said that his joke was transphobic. So again, this is another community, not just the Jewish community. This is another community coming out and stating that they believe that the joke on SNL was transphobic or against a community. And the joke was, it's good news, except Biden is calling the policy, don't ask, don't tuck. And activists have stated because of this joke, they said that this is gross. When can a trans people just exist without their genitalia being the topic of a joke? So we're seeing that it's not just one community that is offended by the jokes that SNL is making. We see that SNL has offended in just this month. Again, this is just this month that SNL has offended the Jewish community, and they have also offended the trans community. Now, we know with shows like SNL, what's going to happen is they're going to continue to make jokes at the expense of everyone. During the political campaign, like I said before, Republicans were definitely the butt of the joke, especially Trump's family and Trump's cabinet, and even his personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Every single weekend during Trump's administration and during the campaign trail, they took the opportunity to poke fun and make fun of Trump's entire team. And again, many Republicans said they did not want to watch SNL anymore because it became too left-wing or too political. We're now seeing that the Jewish community, because of what happened on Saturday, they're now saying that they want an apology issued immediately because the joke was anti-Semitic. And we're seeing at the beginning of the month, the trans community said that the joke was transphobic. So the question that I want to know from you guys and what you guys think is, when does a joke actually go too far? And who has the right to say that a joke has gone too far? Or my other question to you as well is, as a people, have we become too sensitive? Now, again, if you would go back a decade ago, you would see that jokes would usually be said without any type of consequences. If you would go back a couple of decades ago, people could joke and laugh about whatever they want without even thinking about offending people. But now in the age of PC, we see that people are trying to hold people accountable for their jokes, because a lot of times people state that jokes themselves have some type of truth, and the person making the joke is just trying to say what they maybe really want to say about a person or a community by saying it in a joking way so they don't get as much heat. But again, we are now in the world of PC, where if you say the joke, you're going to be held accountable in some way. And many people are very much split on this conversation, because many people believe that a joke is just a joke and people should lighten up. And then other people believe that people should be held accountable and that people should not make jokes against communities. Now, again, as a people, we're going to have to decide what is appropriate and what's not. But we see there's that constant back and forth pull of when a joke is going too far and when PC culture is going too far. Now, Don says, they are jokes. Every joke will have a stereotype as the butt of the joke. People need to lighten up. this cancel culture is ridiculous. And again, I haven't even jumped into cancel culture today because a lot of times after the joke is said, the next push is the push for canceling people. Now, something else that is very interesting to see is how generations really do view jokes, because we do see that maybe Generation X and baby boomers like to say that jokes are just jokes and people should get over it. And we see that millennials and Gen Z tend to be the group that are more that they want to push the PC culture, that they do want people to be held accountable for their jokes. Now, again, there's probably Michael Che will probably still have a job, and Michael Che probably will not be canceled. And it's very unlikely that SNL will issue an apology because they're going to continue to make jokes against all people because that is what they do. That it is a comedy sketch show. And the way that people can decide whether jokes are appropriate or whether jokes are not appropriate is by whether they tune in, because ratings are everything. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I said, many people, Dawn and Sohaila, who have tuned in, they're saying that jokes are just jokes. People are saying that it is something that people need to line up. And I'm going to go back to Sohaila's comments. And here it is. So Sohaila says, it's getting ridiculous. Enough is enough. People need to chill. Jeez. And the question I really want to know from you guys is, when is a joke just a joke? And when does a joke go too far? Now, I'll say this. When I was younger, I know people would make jokes about things that are highly inappropriate, violence against women, and people would laugh and get away with it. But a joke like that could not happen now because people don't want to laugh about violence against women. So who decides? And again, in my 30 odd something years of life, we see that that it has shifted from what was appropriate as a joke to what is not appropriate as a joke. And the thing about it is, who gets to decide what is appropriate? Who gets to decide when they can make a joke about a person? Can people make a joke if it's their own culture? Can people make a joke about someone else's culture? Can someone make a joke about someone else's gender or sexual orientation? At what point do we draw the line as a people? And again, it does seem as we look at the different generations, that different generations do have a different idea of what is appropriate. It seems as though the younger generations do want to continue with the PC culture and to ensure that people are held accountable for their jokes. And we also see that the older generations, so Generation X and baby boomers, believe that a joke is just a joke and people should lighten up. But at the end of the day, there are still going to be comedians. There's still going to be people making jokes. There are going to continue to be people making jokes against religion, against culture, against race, against sexual orientation, against identity. And when will we say that a joke is okay? When, as a people, are we going to say that this person's joke is okay and they should continue making jokes like that? And when are we going to say that this joke is inappropriate and they need to stop? Now, something else that I have noticed is sometimes when a joke is made against another culture, I've definitely seen people say it's just a joke line up. But when the joke is made against something that they believe, they become offended. And the one thing that I will bring it up, because I know I brought it up earlier, is the jokes about the Republicans. Now, again, during the campaign trail, during Trump's entire presidency, many Republicans were offended at the way that SNL portrayed the administration, and they said the show was too political. And they were very much upset, and they did not watch it. And they said that it was absolutely offensive. But then I've seen the same Republicans who said it was offensive the way they were treating Trump, saying that it's okay to make jokes about Israel. It was okay to make jokes about trans people. So then begs the question, are people just too sensitive when it comes to them? Or do people have the right to stand up for themselves and say, do not make jokes about my community? Now, Wade says, I offend people all the time. Once you realize that anything, anytime, anywhere can and will offend someone, life is so much easier and better. And I will say, Wade, you have a knack for offending people. I'm so happy that you're out of Facebook jail, because I think that's what put you in Facebook jail a little while ago. So it's good to see you again and again. Some people, like Wade, likes to make jokes that are offensive. And if you like jokes like that, you can go to Smoke and Bacon, by the way. That's the Wade's app. He's the founder. But other people do not want to hear offensive jokes. There are other people who say that people need to be accountable for the things they say, whether it's made in a joking manner or whether it's made in a non-joking manner. And then Wade said, yep. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you guys believe that SNL went too far? And which time do you think that SNL went too far? Because again, Republicans said SNL went too far during the campaign. Earlier this month, trans activists said that SNL went too far with the trans joke that they made. And then this week, Jews are saying that SNL went too far with the Jewish joke that they made about Israel. Do you think SNL went too far with all of these things? Do you think that they were just doing exactly what they were there to do, and that's to make fun of everything in the world? And who do you guys think decides is what's appropriate? So guys, let me know whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this later. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm really excited to hear what you think. Whether we agree, whether we disagree. I didn't really say what I agree with during this broadcast. I really do want to hear from you guys. But whether we agree or whether we disagree, it's important to have these conversations. Your opinion matters. And I'm going to bring all the information. I'm going to bring the facts to you guys. But at the end of the day, your opinion matters. And we do need to have the conversations. Whether people agree, whether people disagree, it's important that we keep the conversations going. It's important that we keep the dialogue going in order to come together and just be peaceful. We don't need to argue. We can talk about it. And we can see how different, how same we are. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you like this show, you'll like my other show as well. And you can watch that on Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire. And that is all about motivating, educating, and empowering you to be your best self. So it's not about politics or current events like this show. This show right here is all about motivating, educating, empowering you to be your best self. And we have amazing, amazing guests on the show. So I can't wait for you guys to tune in and watch that. And I'd like to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And let me know what you think. Go ahead and drop in the comment section below. Whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this later, I'll have a conversation with you later too in the comment sections. So guys, let me know what you think. And I will see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, guys.